Hey there, and welcome to my lazy review of this movie called The Menu, and it stars Ralph Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult, and Anna Taylor-Joy. The thing is, it came out roughly a month ago, and my local mall only had one showing, which surprisingly about 30 people showed up, and I was like, okay, but I just didn't get a chance to check it out, and it's one of those films by the trailers, I was like,
Gonna rent it?
but my one day off as I'm working on my top 10 of 2022, which I hope you enjoy, I'm like, you know what, let me just take a little break out the house and go check out this film. I'm not sure what to expect. I was hearing actually positive things about that. Before we get into that, I got some Coke Zero and I gotta pour a little drink right now because goddamn, all I can tell you is that this movie is not what I expected. Some people would say the trailers kind of gave away too much, and yes and no.
Good evening. Welcome to Hawthorne. It'll be our pleasure to feed you.
We got some good old Evan Williams honey, some Coke Zero, and 1 second, you ready?
It tastes so good.
Delicious. Okay, well, before I get into my intro, all I can tell you is that
You will ingest fat, salt, protein.
the first 30 minutes is just a fine dining film. I'm watching it and eating my popcorn and I'm just like drooling and like, oh, I'm so fucking hungry. And I didn't know what to expect. I thought this would be like,
Dinner and a movie to Tropical Sex Vacation.
an hour and a half film just about rich snobs and people criticizing food, just sitting around eating all day. And after 30 minutes, it turns a whole fucking 180 from being a fine dining film to a film about murder.
Murder?
And yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because I just gotta say before the intro, out of every film I have seen in 2022, this has to be by far the most unique and just the most surprising because I didn't know what to expect and I walked out like, holy shit. So yeah, let's drink some more and enjoy my intro. So what is this movie about? What is the premise? Why should you see it for? Because yes, you should see this. And I do apologize for being kind of late because by the time this gets out there, it'll probably be on digital or DVD or things like that, Redbox or something. Basically, again, the first half hour is a bunch of foodies, a bunch of snobs, a bunch of people that, think they're the best in the industry. They get invited to this island, and this island has the chef. But who is the chef? It's Ralph Fiennes. And just goddamn, every time this guy is on screen, and he's on screen a lot during this film, he just has this way about him. He commands presence, can you imagine Gordon Ramsay, but Gordon Ramsay on fucking steroids? And that's how Ralph Fiennes is. He's one of them actors where he can be very calm, very collected,
He's very talented.
and within the drop of a hat, just fucking go maniac mode. And the way he runs his kitchen is like a fucking boot camp.
You, my dear guests, are not the common man. Isn't that right?
And only very select people get to go to this island and taste the stuff that he's making. And as I said, the first half hour, the way they're preparing things, the way he's describing it, it just you're drooling and you're salivating. You're like, wow, I want to be in this island so fucking bad.
Why am I so hungry?
But out of nowhere, well, you come to find out that there's more than meets the eye.
We are but a frightened nanosecond. Nature is timeless.
All of these guests, all these people that were privileged to go to this island and taste his food, well, you find out with the whole thriller aspect that they were chosen for a very specific reason, and the chef is behind everything. So you can't say it's a horror film because it's a thriller film, and I can't give too much away because it's so complex and so just like deliciously done. Get it? Deliciously?
You're not funny.
Because the way he does things and the way he explains things, and he gets to the point where it has some social commentary, and I can't help but think to myself that what if, you took away the foodie aspect? What if this was professional film critics where you had the director hosting something and he picked very specific critics for very specific reasons? It could be the same premise, and yeah, just he makes the film, and to her credit, Anya Taylor-Joy, every time that she's on screen, and of course when she's bouncing off Ralph Fiennes, they have chemistry. They do it so fucking well. She gives it back to him, and I just like the premise of what's going on and his motivations. And I'm like, as people would say, any kind of a bad guy, he's very fucking well written, and honestly, I didn't totally disagree with him.
good as a point of view, anyhow.
You know, as I said, this has been a few weeks and there was about 30 people in my theater. People were laughing and laughing more than I expected, and I was as well, but not because it's a sitcom. It's just like, you know, not to spoil too much, but imagine being in like this restaurant, which is the best restaurant in the world, and somebody gets fucking killed in front of you, but then here's a new fucking 3-course meal that costs $2,000. Do you eat it? And you're like, I mean, I'm already here, so why not fucking eat it, right? The last thing I can say is that the ending, I loved it. I was smiling the entire time, and just yet again, hats off to Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes for just fucking stealing the show, giving great performances. I walked out and I had to stop at Five Guys, had to grab a fucking cheeseburger, which I'm about to eat. When you see the film, you'll understand why.
I understood that reference.
So yeah, I hope you liked my review. I'm sorry if I was a little bit vague, but I just had such a good time. I don't want to spoil this for you. I want you to see it for yourself. And as we always do, I'm going to check my time, edit this, go finish my top 10 list of 2022, which I hope you enjoy, but just have a good time watching The Menu, okay? Let's get Bender.
This calls for a drink.
That is so good. Now I'm going to eat this cheeseburger and then head back to work.